All right, stand by. Roll sound.
Speed.
Roll camera.
Speeding.
Slate.
Scene one, take one. Mark.
And action. Hey everybody, well, happy Friday. Welcome to 2 o'clock. It's Burnie's Applebox right here. Got a great, awesome show for you today. And believe me, this is something you don't want to miss. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, play it back over and over a couple times because you will learn something. This is my mentor I have on today, Stan Garber. Stan, how you doing, brother?
It's good to be here.
You know what, Stan, I'll tell you, when I conceived of this show, you were the face I was thinking of when I was doing it. There's a few guys that I had, and I go, these are the people that I want to get out. You are the number one. The first time I really went out and got hired by myself on a set, not somebody brought me along, Stan was the gaffer on that set. And that was years and years ago. And, you know, Stan has taught me so much over the years in so many ways, probably more about how to be a great person on set than actually anything else on lighting or anything like that. The man, Stan, you are just a legend here in Orange County, I can tell you that, and everywhere else. And in fact, Stan is my usually number one gaffer call, because I know he's going to run the crew, he knows how to run a crew, and he's going to take care of the client, which are two of the most important things to me. So it is so great to have you here, Stan. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my honor. And I just finally get to be on your show. I know
Yeah, there you go.
We've been trying to work it out. So
Yeah,
you keep me kind of busy, so it's hard to always coordinate it.
Yeah, and you're a busy guy. You're a busy guy too, and we'll get into all that, you know, and how it's going. And I want to talk to you too. You know, this show is about people. You know, this show is about the people of the industry and how they work and what they do and how they make it. And you know, I'm really big on, excuse me, a proponent of the job isn't about tomorrow's job. It's about the jobs for the next 20 years. And
Yes.
you perform well on tomorrow's job to ensure that you're going to have a 20 plus year career, you know, ahead of you. And
point.
you're somebody who has been a great example of that.
Yeah.
Now I know, you know, you started out, well, you know what, it seems like you've been a gaffer to me all my life, but why don't you tell me where you started out? Where'd you grow up? Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in a small town, actually in Canada, but I'm an American, so don't worry. Don't change the papers.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Don't fire me yet.
All right.
Got to keep it.
All right,
Keep it
but
good.
I'd suggest you get your papers in order. Things are changing now, Stan. Okay, yeah,
Funny.
time out.
No, just kidding. But no, it's true. It's true. You know, I always thought it was. When you watch TV and movies and stuff like that, you just take it for granted. It's like the magic box. I remember my mother would take 8mm film of. I grew up on a show horse, a ranch with show horses. So my mom would always take.
And where
pictures.
was that?
This is in Alberta, Canada.
In Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up on a 360-acre ranch. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems big, but it's actually not big by Canadian standards. But I digress.
A lot of open country up there and stuff.
Yeah.
But so just hold. When you were up there in that ranch, did you ever think you would be working in production?
Well, no. Because
Okay.
I see where you're going. But we would, as a farm kid, would be jumping off the barn roof in the haystack and things like that, saying, "Hey, we want to be a stunt man." So when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a stunt man.
So you did have some kind of inkling about the
Exactly.
industry, yeah.
And I was going to say, mainly the inkling was my mother would take these 8mm films of the horses and she'd get them developed and I'd see the finished developed reels in a box.
Sure.
And I'd look at it and she'd send it to this place called Hollywood to get developed.
Ah, okay.
And I looked at it, I go, Hollywood? I thought that was a fictitious
Yeah,
place. I
a
didn't know it was a
made-up
real
place,
yeah,
right?
from the Flintstones or something.
Toontown.
Anyway, Toontown, yeah. Anyway, I said all that to say that's kind of what got
Yeah.
my interest.
So that was the first sort of connection, film, Hollywood, and you knew a stunt man, you thought that'd be the fun thing to be. And I think every boy wants to be a stuntman because he can do anything. You know?
Well, you get the chicks.
Yeah, yeah, of course, Dan. And that's all it is. That's why we're in the industry, let's face it. So growing up there, how long did you live on the farm? How old were you until you moved from there?
You know, several years, but as you get older, sometimes life changes. So
Yep.
I kind of went other direction. I got into printing, so I wanted to, you know, I did all that. And then from printing, I went into advertising. And then I said,
In advertising,
yeah.
what did you do there?
Well, I was a paste-up artist. We would,
Okay.
back in the days before computers.
Yeah, right.
Everything was with wax and cut out pictures, and you'd create an ad
Okay.
for, you know, whatever
And you
it
would
is.
do that?
Yeah.
You would do that? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
That was fun, yeah. Advertising I thought was interesting, to the point where I said, you know, I'd love to do advertising for television, or, you know, for television, prime time. And so that's why I went back to college to take up TV production.
That's awesome. So where did you go to college at?
I went to Fullerton, the junior college of Fullerton, and
Okay.
took the TV and radio classes. They were combined back.
Now, was the
Back then-
family still in Alberta?
No, they had moved down across the border, but again, on a little tiny piece of property. So yeah, it was just the interest of all those things that, even though I went away from it from a little while, I kept gravitating back to production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. After you got into college, what was your thought about what you wanted to do? Was it like you thought? How much did the school prepare you for the world you entered once you were out?
Yeah, good question. You know, I felt like the college prepared me very well. It was a kind of a, because it was a junior college, it was all hands-on. We had to write, you know, a treatment, come up with storyboards, and then actually do the actual videotaping.
Okay.
So that I felt was very good. Now, it is true, because of, like, you hire some young people in your business, and you're willing to train some people hands-on. And you have On-Set University, which gives people the chance to learn things
About the
that way.
freelance life.
Didn't
and,
have
and-
that
and
kind
the
of stuff.
business.
you
Yeah.
know, back then.
Right.
So community college was wonderful, at that point. But but it was just good to learn
Yeah.
hands-on. I really
well,
enjoyed it.
and the industry was smaller then. You know, the industry is growing in ways that I mean, it's hard for me to even conceptualize. I remember back in the day, you know, and I have done much more industrial corporate work than I've done entertainment. You know, however, most of people only look at entertainment. That's the only thing they really intersect. But look, when you're talking about, I think there's 5 days of video uploaded to YouTube every minute
Wow,
now.
yes.
5 days every minute.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling, but I'm a believer too that the industrial world, the corporate world, produces minimum 10 to 1 compared to entertainment. So you walked into that world, I think, after you got out. Am I correct?
Well, yes, I did. Even in college, the teacher, she was wonderful, and she says, I think a lot of you students are here because you want to make movies and television. We all went, yeah, of course, yeah. She said, but there's a new situation going on where corporate America needs videos, PR videos, training videos,
Sure.
Corporate ID type videos, and we all just looked at each other all blank, like,
That was-
what is she talking about?
Yeah.
And sure enough, it made sense. She brought in some guests and said, hey, here's what's going on. Gave us some examples. So immediately after college, boom, and I've been here ever since.
The
Corporate
OC,
video.
the OC,
Corporate videos,
corporate video.
it's been very good to me.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's funny, Stan, because I sort of had the same things. You know, I was older when I got into it, you know, but video hadn't really taken off in the corporate world. You saw some high-end players making films, because that's all that was then, you know, was film. And then when I actually intersected the business around the time that I first met you in the early 90s, is I felt like I entered a business that was brand new. And that was the
Exactly.
corporate world. Now, it had been going on in the 80s. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? I mean,
bit.
it had started. But you know, in the 90s when I intersected the business, it was on fire.
On
It
fire.
was on fire.
And it sounds funny to say this, and big time. A
Yeah.
lot of money was spent.
A lot of
Every
money.
video was several days, if not 2 weeks straight.
Absolutely.
Big crews, big equipment. We used everything Hollywood was using, I felt, except for the budget.
Yep.
But it was still pretty big budget.
They were big budgets. And you know what? Back in that day, and this is, you always have to look at the economics of the time, right? I remember so many times I was on a 2 or 3 day shoot. We'd have a 5-ton electric, 5-ton grip out there. We'd have a 3-and-3 or a 4-and-4 crew with the gaffer and the key grip. And doing all of that, you know what I mean? It didn't even make a difference because editing was where all the production and the producers were making the majority of the money. I had one guy tell me, he goes, I don't even count the grip and lighting. I don't count the G&E because the number was so huge in the editing bay. And that was...
Back then it was.
I know nothing about editing, but that was the old school time, you know what I mean?
$1,000 an hour.
A lot of money, and there was a lot of downtime. And that was the day too of the great big lounge for the clients, and they've got the sushi being delivered, all that stuff. And those days are far, far gone now. Sure. But there was money in it. You're absolutely right.
Oh, absolutely. I felt like I was on a movie set. People say, "Oh, why don't you get back into the television and film stuff that you kind of thought you were going to do?" I go,
"Yeah,
this is amazing. What we're doing, this is big time. Cranes and like you said, and in fact, I got to work a little bit in post production for a while, and just because I thought I was going to be a video engineer at first, believe it or not. But so I worked in the tape rooms, and that was a big, huge room full of video tape machines, and we had to patch things in and queue up tapes. We had big carts with, a whole bunch of Betacam tapes back then.
Sure.
Give me tape number 24, stick it in machine B, because now they're going to do an AB row edit. And so you think about the concept, what it took. Why I said
in the editing bay, there was actual manual labor. There was labor going on in there, 3 or 4 people.
To do a computer graphic thing, they would have to generate all night long just to do what you can do on your iPhone now.
Yeah, right. No, pretty incredible.
Things change, but for the good, I would assume.
For the good. Absolutely it is. It's certainly democratized information.
That's a big word.
That's it. We'll go over that one later. But it has. It's really put it out there for everybody to use. And you said at one time you thought you were going into post-production, but of course you're a gaffer, and now and I know you do sound. I don't hold that against you, by the way.
Some people do.
But I still like you.
Anybody.
What made you come out of, say, more of the post-production side, or and go into gaffing? What made that transition for you?
Great question. Quick story on that. I was working in post and being the videotape operator, machine operator, and I thought, I want to get into editing because that just looks so much fun. But one day they said, hey, we got a little video shoot going on this Saturday, and we need some extra help. You want to come help us do the videotaping and production day? I said, sure, whatever. So I was a PA, whatever.
Right.
And I remember we get there early, and there's this big truck that backs up, beep, 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 and they open it up, and there's all these C-stands and lights and sandbags and just rigs, and it was like rays of sunshine coming down from heaven shining on this truck. I go, I don't know what this is, but this looks cool. Really, I don't know why, because I thought, these $100,000 videotape machines look cool too. Also.
Right.
So we just had a fun day of playing in the park and with reflector boards and everything like that. I says, that's it.
That's what you
I'm
wanted.
getting out of the dark, noisy room, and I'm going to work outside. And that's what changed it.
From right there.
That one day on.
Then,
absolutely.
I know what you mean. I don't know if everybody can understand that, but you get out there, for me, and I think it's somewhat the same for you too. You start making a pretty picture, and you go back over and look at the monitor, and you go, I got to do a tweak here, I got to do a tweak there, what if we did this? You know what I mean? You're angling it, you're playing with it, you're really looking good, working within the parameters of the production, what they want, right? But you're trying to make that most perfect picture you can. And I think that's what I became addicted to, and I think you too. And I know how many conversations that we've had on set between you and I. It's like, hey, what if I just did that? No, don't do it. Don't touch anything. They like it. Let it go. And we've had that almost every set we've been on, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And it has been me saying, don't say anything.
Yeah, and for good reason, I have to say.
Yes.
I remember the first time I was like, well, why? But now I totally understand.
Right.
You got to keep the flow going. It's their show, the whole thing. You can tweak something to death sometimes.
You know what? I have been guilty of that. And I found, I'm a tweaker. I am a tweaker. I can't look at something. How many times the director has said, I thought you guys were done. I go, yeah, we just keep lighting until you say roll, and then because there's always something to fix. Things that people can't even see, and I was talking to a DP about this and he goes, oh, well, it was Colin Rich. It was Colin Rich, the guy that does all the time lapse with LA as a guest a few weeks ago. And he said that even though something can be perfect, it's really good, but he sees up there in the right-hand corner just a little something that he wanted to, he'll show it to his wife, he'll show it to a dozen people, and no one will notice it, but he sees it every single time. And that's what we do on set, too. We're noticing everything like that. We're picking out, if you see a little bit of a C-stand leg or something no one would know about, but it's a big deal to us. We want it cleaned up, And sometimes you actually have to argue with production to make it happen, but you say, no, it's important, and it's important to me because I want the picture to look perfect.
You care about the whole set, Burnie. I've seen you in action do that. And I think it's important to note that, of course, and know when to hold them, when to fold them, of course.
Yes,
some things.
yes.
And like I was saying earlier, being from post, reason why I like to go look at the monitor is because I had an interest in post back, the color and all that kind of stuff. Like your eyes train now to see all these different color temperatures. Maybe not the first day you started in this business, your eye might not have been trained,
right.
but over time. So that's why it's important to care about the whole production, not just your little segment of it. And that's why a lot of people in this business, they have done different parts, different job titles, I should say, in this business, but they care about the overall business. They care about how it lights and how we can save time for the editor.
Right.
All these things.
Right.
Is important.
Yes.
So
yes.
some people come over from other trades in this business. That's fine. But sometimes I've met people like that just cared about
their narrow focus.
path.
Yeah.
And they go, well, I don't care what the editor has to do to clean up. I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I find most students today, they know how to care about the whole production, and they seem to be, I think, learning a little bit about from on-set lighting.
Yeah, well,
and your seminars.
You know what? I hope they're learning from the show. I hope they're learning from you, me, and all of us. Because really, just like you said, our job, and I know you do this on set too. We need to make sure that set gets everything they need in that 10-hour span, and that includes setup and teardown. So for me, it's very, very important to keep pushing the production forward, all that. And I think we got a quick commercial here, so we're going to be right back.
Burnie's workshop is fantastic. Burnie's workshop is awesome. Burnie's workshop is insightful.
Burnie, in one word, passionate maybe. You can tell he really cares a lot.
Burnie is a badass.
He's a great teacher. He has great stories, and I would recommend this to anyone. Not only someone like me who's starting day one, but I feel that in any profession, as you sharpen your sword, it always gets sharper.
I think the best thing about this is the access to understanding how to run your business, how to actually be in this filmmaking industry and make money at it. Coming to this workshop, I think, is what actually gets you the tools to understand how to do that, how to get out there and sell yourself.
I thought that was really cool. I thought, he knows all the tricks in the book, and he knows how to show that to us and actually demonstrate it so we actually know what he's talking about.
I really like the hands-on experience. That's something that you don't find a lot, but something you have to go on set a lot to just appreciate.
I know this is lighting seminar, but it's not only talk about lightings. He also share his business experience, personal experience, and guide us to what we should do, what kind of personality we should have in this business.
His stories, I think that kind of say everything in a few example stories that he gives out from time to time.
I would recommend this workshop to anybody who just brand into the industry, people who just don't know the swing of it. A lot of this stuff they don't teach you in film school.
I deal with a lot of freelancers every day, a lot of peers that I went to school with, a lot of professionals in the field, and they all need to take this class because it puts you on the next level, on the next playing field.
Burnie's a great guy. Burnie's really authentic. Like everything he learns, everything he teaches, the way he handles himself, the way he deals with other people, he's a one-of-a-kind guy. Someone I've never come across before in the industry, and someone I hope to emulate and hope that there are more people like him out there that can help.
Onset University is the place where you'll learn how to build your business. On our site, you'll find hours of information that you can use immediately. No matter where you're at in your career, you can use these strategies to grow your business. Also, I'll show you how to use social media to boost your business in a big way. What I teach are real-world, practical solutions to make you successful. Join our community at Onset University. Hey everybody, we're back. We've got Stan Garber on the show today, my hero. I say it all the time, but you really are my hero. This time I mean it, Stan. This time I mean it. Hey, also one note I should have made in the beginning, please share this show. Please hit the share button down there, put it on your site, let everybody see it, throw it out there, really appreciate it. It's about us and what we do in our industry, so it could help somebody. I appreciate that, thank you. And you know, when you got into it, and what year was that? Give us that year. When you got out of school, when you start working and meeting people, all that.
Well, I am 29 years old. No, just kidding.
I've got you, Stan. I've got no argument
so
there.
I don't know about this question. No, it was late 80s, actually. So quite some time ago. Yeah.
88, 89?
88, 89.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, very good, very good. That's about the time I moved down to California, too. I moved December of 89 down here. So, yeah, I've got a hang on that time for sure.
You remember then?
I remember one of the few
How
things.
big the cell phones
One of the
were?
few things I remember. I remember everything in the past.
boy.
I don't remember anything 5 minutes ago.
No.
So who were some of the people that you met in the industry down here then? Just tell me.
Yeah, you know, there was some good gaffers that had some trucks that were kind of serving Orange County at the time. Great people. You know, Tebex was one of them.
Tom Benema.
Tom Benema, great guy, taught me all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and you worked for him a lot.
Several years,
Yeah. And Tom at that time had, what, 3 or 4 trucks here in Orange County?
Yeah, you had 3 grip trucks and a trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. He still has the trailer.
He still has a trailer. Smart enough to get rid of the trucks, though. I like that.
Well, things change. He does a lot of consulting now. And
No,
things like
when I came down here, Tom Benema was the king. I mean, he was working
By
all
far,
the time,
sure.
and most of the guys knew he was the top dog. I mean, he was kind of the natural call for everybody. I think he just had enough gear. And once he kind of, I patterned a model after him, not because he did it, but because it works, is he had those multiple trucks, so therefore when everybody's shooting on Wednesday, he could get a week's worth of work out of it, and did that, and he was very, very smart to do that, you know. So you started working for him. How did you start? Were you just a grip?
A grip, absolutely. Yeah. Back then you needed several, well, you still do.
Yeah.
You know, but lights were bigger. We didn't have fast cameras, you know.
I remember.
Things had just switched over to chip cameras. We used to use tube cameras actually in the beginning.
Yes,
If
yes,
people who,
that's
some of your
right.
students need to look that up maybe.
Yep.
Maybe you have some of those classes already, talking about the history of
I don't, but it'd be very good to do.
It is
yeah,
interesting.
it'd be very
It
interesting.
really is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it just things you just learn as you go.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about working back then for him and working for you. I get to work with different DPs. And therefore you learn different styles. It is like university
on steroids.
On steroids.
It's a university on steroids. It really is.
And I've had DPs tell me, saying, being a DP is great, but I don't get to work for other DPs.
Bingo.
So I'm stuck in my, sometimes they even ask the grip or the gaffer, hey, what's some of the deals? Oh, you share some ideas or some things that you've seen. And they go, great. Maybe I'll try to incorporate them. So it's a sharing business.
So you uncorked the genie bottle here, my friend, because you just, I could riff on that for 12 hours on what you just said. Here's the thing that I tell so many young people, and this was my experience, my direct experience, is the best thing that happened to me was getting into the business and getting in a little late. Without it being noticeable to me or thinking that was an advantage, what it did is I had the maturity to work on set and work well. So people would call me back just because of my work ethic.
Absolutely.
It would come back there. That's something that we all look for with everybody who's in the industry. How well do they work? I don't want to work with a guy if he's kind of lazy. I want to work with a hustler, a guy who's making it happen, all of that stuff, But then again, what you just mentioned, because I wasn't in entertainment and I was in, a 1, 2, 3 day show situation when I was working with all these different DPs. And that's where I learned my craft. I didn't learn it from any one person. I learned it from all the people I worked for and didn't even realize it as an advantage at the time until I moved further down the road and I realized how much I was picking up, how much I was doing. You talked about looking at that monitor and not even knowing what you were looking at. I remember the first time I went up, in fact, it was Tom McDonald, guy that gave me the start in the business, Tom McDonald.
Okay.
So if anybody's got a problem with the way I work, go talk to Tom McDonald. Okay? There you go, Tommy. That's for you, buddy. But I would work with all these different people, see all the ways it was all. Tommy at first took me to the monitor and he goes, let me show you this. And he put in a single double in the backlight to show me the hair. I literally could not see it. And I mean that literally. I could not, my eye was not trained to see the difference, And I remember feeling kind of foolish about that. He goes, do you see that? I go, I can't really tell the difference, Now, of course, I see it clearly, and that's the type of experience that you need to get on set, is to see those small things and understand why the DP is doing it, So that was something that was a real learner for me. So working in all of those different venues, I know exactly what it means. It makes you a much better gaffer. It actually makes you a much better production person because you're seeing the different ways. You have to treat this DP differently than that DP. This one likes it this way, this one likes it that way, and that's really important.
Absolutely. We're talking about on the set learning, I went to one of your first workshops, and those are the kind of things you show us also. So it's nice to see the opportunity if some students can get to that point.
Yeah.
Now, learning on set is fine.
And it's really the only way you truly learn,
It is, and it's nice when DPs like Tom McDonald take time to show you those things.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, because there's not a lot of time on set. So
no, it's busy.
Take somebody beside and show them something. It's a big deal.
Especially your sets are busy.
Yeah.
Why do you put me on those sets?
Because I don't want to go on them.
Why do you send me out there?
I went on the easy ones, Stan. What are you talking about?
The one-day wonders. No.
Well, you know
I love
what?
them all. I love
and
them all.
Even in this day, you know that, Stan, because we remember two worlds. We remember a couple of worlds, maybe. We remember the 90s that were on fire. I frankly, one of my big periods of time where I really grew in business was from 2000 to 2009. That period for me was a real rocket ship.
Boy, was it.
Yeah, that was.
I remember.
That was nothing but after 2001 there was that big drop off, and then it slowly came back, but I would say by 2004 it was on fire, and at least for what I was doing, I was on fire. It was every day, working 2 or 3 jobs, sending out 2 or 3 jobs a day, and building that up like that. It is not, how do I put this? Well, with this being said, I had my best year last year, ever in the business.
Yep.
So I guess it has come back. Since 2009, I feel it's been catch up since then, and we've both felt that way.
Yeah, well, I guess last year was my best year also, but that makes sense that it was yours because you always send me.
Yeah, that's true. I could have
now it makes sense.
I should have got that other cash.
But so yes, things are back definitely. I think maybe you explained this to me, or maybe it's somebody else, but there's the production pie, let's just say. And back in the 90s, it was cut in 4 parts. Each production was a big, several-day shoot, if not 2-week shoot with big budgets. The production, people say, well, things have gotten slower or over the years, up and down. And someone explained to me, and I thought it was you, but maybe not. This is the production pie is still the same. There's still all this production out there. The slices are thinner. Thinner.
Yeah.
So now they're one-day wonders or 2-day shoots, lower budget, but it's possible now because cameras are a little faster. You're buying all these new lights that work with less electricity, so now you don't need a big generator. Sorry, generator companies.
Sorry, Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry. But so there's just the production pie is still there. It's just thinner slices. So now people who, before it was big big companies that could afford a big $100,000 plus budget.
Right.
Now maybe a dry cleaner wants to do a little training video for whatever the current price is. But now guess what? It's attainable. So they could finally afford to do it because you got some LED lights that don't pull all the electricity. Cameras are faster. You can edit it, right? You got
go live. You can edit
go
live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's totally there.
Yeah.
Just because it's changing, to me, is exciting.
It's very exciting, Stan. It's very exciting. And that's the thing that it's tough when you know people who have a model and the model has stayed the same for a long time and they don't expect it to change. And, it really sneaks under the back door when that change comes. You don't see it until it's too late, and you haven't changed your model. You haven't been up on top of that. You haven't been able to break it down to where you can service the new clientele and the new money. And maybe you can't because maybe that's not what you do. And if you're a guy who's older, 40 or 50, hey, you got a house mortgage. Maybe you got 2 kids in college. I don't know. But you are in a big demand for money. And if the money starts going south, you're very frustrated. It's very rough.
Yeah.
We've both seen that. We both know people in that situation, But it's tough, but it's an ever-changing business, which is why I think you both and I like it. Because it's like, when that phone rings, it's like the lotto. Because you've been to a lot of places. Tell me, those phone calls you get, a lot of them are the same jobs, but tell me about some of them that have been your favorites, some of the jobs that have been your favorites.
Oh boy, put me on the spot. I really, I don't even know.
Because I know you've traveled. Tell me something about traveling.
Yeah, I guess that's a fun part. I like to travel, so some jobs have taken me to different countries. One was Thailand, which was a lot of fun. One was to Haiti, which probably doesn't sound like maybe a whole lot of fun.
That's not a vacation spot,
yeah,
really.
It's not a vacation spot, but it's for a good cause, for a faith-based organization. So you feel good doing something like that. And then just went to Africa a few months ago, and that was a lot of fun.
What part of Africa?
It was Tanzania.
Okay.
Or
Tanzania?
I say it like an American, Tanzania,
Tanzania.
but that's not how they pronounce
Tanzania.
it. Yeah,
Tanzania.
something like that.
Okay.
Wonderful time. It's fun to travel for business, because places I wouldn't spend my own money on doing it. So
well, that is so true. I know when traveling was always my favorite part of the day. Now I rarely travel anymore. Occasionally I'll go Phoenix, Sacramento, somewhere there. But I worked for a guy who did all resorts before. I think you were on a couple of those shoots. And boy, we would go everywhere. Palm Springs, Hawaii, a lot of very nice destinations.
Wow.
And I found that I enjoyed that so much more. As stupid as it sounds, as horrible as it is, I would prefer going there and working 14 hours than I would paying my own money and going on vacation there.
Is that what your wife says?
No, she does not agree with that. She does not agree with that. But and my wife, she'd work harder than anybody on set.
Sure.
So, No, that is something that I've always enjoyed, because when the phone rings, it's a little bit like the lottery. That just coming up, it could be anything.
It is so fun. I think we've touched on this before, and maybe this is just I don't know, maybe it's a personal thing, but since when we do corporate video, sometimes we go to some offices and they're all a bunch of cubicles, and most people, you know, enjoy their job. But every once in a while, you see someone in a cubicle that just look like they're hating life, you know?
Yeah. Actually, every shoot I do around Cuba, I find somebody that hates life, yes.
And I've always said this, and maybe this is a little silly, but I feel like, to use a phrase, I feel like we're like rock stars sometimes, because we cruise in there, we're always laughing, having a good time. Now, we're serious, we do a good job, especially in a corporate environment. We keep it toned down. But the people in the cubicles seem to kind of light up, because here's these guys coming in with these lights and cameras and making us feel easy, because sometimes we're interviewing them or they're on set and
very curious
using
about what
the
you're
Hollywood
doing.
terms, you know, because that's how we communicate. It's not like we're trying to be Hollywood. We're just that's how we communicate. And they just think it's so much fun. And then we wrap it up and we go home, and we had fun at work. And hopefully they did too.
Right.
But you know they don't always feel that way.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So when that phone rings, you feel like you're in demand.
Right.
You know, you feel like you're wanted. It's not like I put out a big advertisement or commercial or whatever. You just feel like you're being, hey, let's get the band back together kind of an attitude.
You know what you
and
are?
It's such a great feeling.
That is so true. That is exactly the feeling. It's like, hey, and that the fact that somebody wants you. I didn't really think about that before until you said it, but that is so true. That is so true. And how many times in our society today are people ever told they're doing a great job, or they're really rewarded? You know, I mean, in most corporations, it's about a motivation thing. Oh, well, we'll have a dinner, or we'll go for a picnic, we'll do something, which is great, you know. But how many individually get told that they're doing great? You know, you and I as gaffers here, when people see something, and this is kind of getting to the part where maybe as a personality we need that, maybe that's why we became gaffers, is somebody goes, you know, they turn around from the monitor to the client or the director or somebody that goes, that really looks great, you know, and they know that you were putting your heart and soul in it, and that's the great thing. I had a sound man tell me once, says, you know, nobody comes to me and says, boy, that sounds great. and I bring that up because you're a part-time sound man, so I know that's the other half of it. But it is true. I think that the personalities in this, you find your place where you're rewarded.
Good point. I didn't think about that. We do get those words of affirmation on the shoot all the time, and not directly. It's when the client says, oh, this is great, this is exactly what I was hoping, or that's better than I was hoping. Sometimes you hear, and you hear that as you're walking by or whatever, and you go, oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really good.
It is.
It's really good. And you know, me as being a truck owner and sending crews out too, you don't understand how great it is when I hear a client say, hey, can you send those guys out again? They were great. And that to me is just, boy, first of all, they're calling again. So there's a touchdown. You know what I mean? Secondly, you know the guys performed well out there, and the client noticed and was impressed. Yeah. And that's the common occurrence I hear. You know what I mean? Rarely is it I get any critiques of the crew. And to be honest with you, I wished I got more critiques of the crew, because I think, like clients, if they didn't like something, they have a tendency more not to just call you again and go find somebody else, as to ever say, I didn't like the guy you sent me. You know. So
that would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Get feedback.
But the real world is 90 percentile is calling back and likes what they had. Absolutely. You know, and that's because I send guys like you out. You, Brad Elsey, you know, all of the guys, Pat White. I mean, you name it.
You got a great.
All those guys.
You got a great resource of people, and that really does help. How to, especially a lot of times we're in corporate environment. How to work efficiently.
Right.
Be cool.
Right.
Have a little fun, of course, because that's part of Hollywood. But it really does make a difference to people you associate with. And of course, we all love working with you, and we like your equipment. It's new equipment.
Well, we like working together. We all like working together. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's my grip trucks. when we put those together, and we've spent so much time together, I know you know all this, but when I put a grip truck together, I don't put it together for the client. I put it together for the guys who have to work it, because I know where they're at. I am there with them. You know, I know what that flow is like and how quick it's got to come on and go off, and things are working, that you've gone through the truck and make sure everything is good. There's scrims in every light, all that stuff. It sounds small,
so many
but
details.
it's such a huge thing. It's such a huge thing.
It is so amazing, every little detail, especially when you're wrapping. You got to get it back, because that truck's going to go work out tomorrow.
But at 6 a.m., it's
Yeah.
going to be 200 miles away working.
Yeah.
And
Out
it's
in the
so
middle
true.
of nowhere. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And it's probably both of our tired butts out there waking
Yeah,
it up.
going,
Yeah.
where's the scrim set for this light?
Oh my God. I think we're going to take a break.
Okay.
So I think we're ready to go. So yeah, we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Burnie. I own Burnie's Grip and Lighting, San Diego Grip and Lighting, and Los Angeles Grip and Lighting. You know, we pride ourselves on not only renting you the best equipment, but also giving you the best crews. And one of our core values here at Burnie's Grip and Lighting is that we give you the highest production value in the world. And remember, people used to say national, local. No, we present world-class production value on every set. We also know budgets are very tight these days, and you've got 10 hours to get what you need in the can. We move ahead, we move fast, and we know what you need. When you rent from Burnie's Grip and Lighting, you have a partner on your production for that day that is making sure you are well taken care of. So anytime you're in Southern California, give us a call at 714-609-3545, and we'll take very good care of you. See you on set. Hi, this is Burnie, owner of Burnie's Grip and Lighting, and I'm also the manager here at Dot Lot Stages. Dot Lot Stages I've been shooting at for over the last 10 years. We have two stages. We have a 20 by 23 foot full body green screen room. We also have what's behind me, which is a 30 by 40 foot white cyc stage. It's lit by 6 2K space lights. All of the lighting for the green screen and white cyc comes pre-lit. Now, the price for the stage is $1,000 for 11 hours, and that comes with a stage manager and 600 amps of power. Now, how I'm going to get the word out, and this is for my friends who've used Burnie's Grip and Lighting before and my Facebook friends, is that if you rent the stage and you rent my 3-ton stage package, which includes a full tungsten package with chimera, all the distribution, all of the grip and stands, and everything else you need, I will give you the stage at half price. So what that means is you'll get the stage and the grip and lighting package for $1,100. That's only $100 more than the stage would have cost itself. It's a great deal, and I'm doing this because I want to keep my stage working and keep it busy. So give me a call at 714-609-3545. That's 714-609-3545. I'll see you on set. Hey everybody, we're back with my main man, Stan Garber, and we're just talking about our life, working experience, all that good stuff. And Stan was the first gaffer that I worked on a set with when I got my own job. Somebody just called me wild without a DP bringing me on or something, and Stan was gaffer. So I've known him 20 plus years now, and he's one of my main guys that I send out almost on every job if he's available. And you know, that is something that is different, because so many times I call you, you're already booked, and that's even a couple, a week or two ahead of the game.
Yeah, sometimes it goes that way. This business, as you know, is up and down. Like you say, everybody always wants to shoot the same day. And then sometimes when you call, maybe I only working one day that week, but it's the day
It's the day I called, yeah.
So then you go, oh, Burnie, I'm sorry. I love working for you, but I just can't. I've worked for you a lot over the years. You kept me very busy, and that's great. We discussed that earlier. But I did get in the business a long time ago, so therefore I have some clients, obviously besides yourself, but that keep going.
Right.
And so that's great. I will say, being in the business a long time, clients come and go.
Yes.
Just because some of them just
true.
retire.
Very
Sometimes
true.
the business changes. And you just, over time, you learn how to deal with that.
Yeah, I was going to say it's funny because you get a client. When I was first starting out, I was thinking, oh, this client will last a long time and stuff. But I found for a production company, and this is corporate, and I think there's a lot of economic factors that affected this coming along down the line. It seemed like almost for a production company, either they were only in existence or only really hot for about 3 years. I've seen that so many times. And I don't know why that is, whether their formula gets old or their clients that adopted them at first, you know what I mean, are moving on. Maybe that's a policy within their company. We want to keep changing production companies over so we get a newer, a fresher approach, you know. But it definitely has a lifespan with clients.
Several are that way. I'm sure you can say that you have some clients that you've been with almost from the beginning.
No,
so
very
yeah,
true.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you say, I think a lot of it is the economics of it. I
Yeah.
would say a lot of it is that reason.
Yeah, and therefore you really do have to be marketing yourself all the time. You do have to be aware of who's on the landscape. You don't want to bypass anybody who's a potential client just because you're not in their immediate circle. You know, tell me about that. What's your approach on that? I know you don't do hardcore marketing, but I know you're smart enough to intuitively do it.
Well, the first thing I did was take out a 30-second spot on Super Bowl. Just kidding.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. When you talk to friends or family that are not in the business, they always say, oh, how do you get your job?
Sure.
Do you advertise? And I always say, well, I should. I don't very much. But I says a lot of it is, and I try to explain to them, it's word of mouth, and we all know each other. So there's times I'm gaffing and I need some extra help. A lot of times you're gaffing, you need extra help. You hire me as a grip or whatever you need. And therefore, so we all call each other, is what I'm trying to say. And I try to explain that to friends and family. One of the things, though, transitioning from that, I've been learning from you, and I haven't put it all into practice yet, but is the internet, Facebook.
Oh yeah.
All these new tools out there, just wonderful, and you've jumped on that. And I've been learning. I'm a bit of a slow learner on that department. I don't know why, but I can see the fruits of it. It's coming about now.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, and maybe it's a little less now. Maybe it isn't. But the social media is a very fluctuating thing. You know, I think I probably did a better job a few years ago than I'm doing right now. However, I'm doing a bigger job on social media than I did a few years ago. So there's sort of that trade-off. I'm you know, it's funny, social media has always been an experiment to me, you know, from the very beginning. And I remember you were somebody who was so supportive of that at first, and the idea of doing it, you know. I see people now many times on Facebook and stuff doing a very excellent job of it, and I'm always really, really impressed, you know. That gets you a certain point, but I think you'll agree, really where you make those rock solid relationships where you can count on money from time to time is your immediate co-workers on set, or that DP that you work for, or the director you work for. Those are the people who adopt you and bring you on every set.
That's a great word for it, adopt.
Because they go, look, I know this guy does solid work. I know this DP does solid work. I know the gaffer does solid work, the key grip, the audio guy. These are the guys I want to have on my team. Now, no one has enough time or money to keep everybody employed on their dream team all the time. So therefore, you do have to go through and make substitutes all the time on the original team. But that is the best way to get work, is when you're on set, impressing everybody around you, especially your coworkers, especially the people that are on. If you're the key grip and you got a best boy and you go, this is the best boy I've ever worked with, you're going to call him up every time, even if you just met him.
Exactly. When you spend as much time on the set, and it's intense. I mean, I know we said earlier that we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is intense.
It is intense.
You cannot work fast enough. You can't create the lighting fast enough because they got so much content to cover in that day.
Yeah.
You have to have almost to use an old TV term, a mind meld, you know.
Yes.
Because often you got to be quiet. Sometimes we're on radios, of course. So you just have to really gel, for lack of a better word, with your coworkers. And as a result of all that, when they need a position filled, or they're on a set and someone says, hey, do you know someone else? We need some extra people. Yeah, call Stan, or call Burnie. Well, in this case, but other people. You're so important. So even though it has to be natural. I don't think I go to the set and go, okay, who am I going to suck up to?
Who's the best guy?
Yeah.
No,
You're
not
just
at all.
working, and you either work with everybody very well together or not. And you can't fake it. It has to be just something very
The
natural.
cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And under those pressures, and you're right, we make it sound, because we do it all the time, like it's just, we're always having a good time. There is a lot of tension on set. And priorities change, shots change, weather changes, talent changes. There's a million reasons why you may have to go into immediate panic mode to do something and keep the day going right? And I know, how many times have we been on set where I go, Stan, I need this right now. You go, okay, getting it, like that. And I'm sitting there pacing back and forth. The producer comes up to me and goes, how are we doing on that? Is that almost ready? We got to go. I go, Stan, how you doing? He goes, work in progress, work in progress. And I know, okay, I'm not going to beat this guy's ass right now, because he's working hard right now.
But you have to say it, let the client know, or the producer know
and
that it's all happening.
Yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get it as soon as possible.
Isn't that not, though, part of the rush? I actually worked on some live TV shows even before I met you. A faith-based organization. It was live TV shows, and that's a rush when you go on live.
Yeah,
this is live. I mean,
this is
it's
live.
a bit of a rush.
Yeah, this is live. No, it's like
it's fun.
Yeah. Whatever you say now, Stan's not going to get cut out. Watch it, buddy. Yeah, right. But you know what? There is a lot to that immediacy, and I think that people like us, I've thought of other professions, people like us would go in, and as strange as it sounds, it's probably politics, because it's maybe the only other profession where things can change on an immediate dime. Yeah. Everything changes.
Good point.
Job goes away, whatever. Let me talk to you about in the slow times. And right now, I'll just say this right now. We both discussed you're a little slow. I'm slow. I just today lost 3 of the 4 jobs that came in yesterday, and I think part of it was I there was 2 of them I could tell that it was not firm. You know what I mean? And I'm somebody who, when you hire me, it's I'm not the cheapest brand. You know what I mean? I'm not the beginner price. I charge what I have to charge, and I charge for my guys, and I want to make sure they get good money. So there was a couple of them I knew that were going to probably go away once I gave them the estimate. But when it's slow for you, and that's just due to lack of work, none of this, how do you utilize that time? What do you do?
You try to get prepared, and what does that mean? Well, first of all, when it's slow, you catch up on your rest. At least that's what I do.
That's
I like to
exactly
catch up
what
because
you do.
When there's those rushes, you're getting very little sleep in between jobs. That's the nature of the business, and that's also part of the fun, but it gets a little tiring. then you try to catch up on computer stuff. I think is important to make sure everything's smooth.
Yeah.
You know, so when it gets busy again,
you're ready to go.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
And it's also time to reach out. A lot of times in this business, we all work together, so we're work friends. But it's nice once in a while to have a time together with your work friend that's not work related on the set. So you try to take, at least I like to take a little time when it's slow to visit a coworker.
Yeah,
that's not
to
on
do
the set.
something
'Cause
personal.
on the set, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty rigid and
Yeah.
fast paced, and you don't really get to know.
Right.
So those kind of things.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, this is not what your total question, but you have to relax in the fact that the phone's going to ring.
That's right.
Yeah.
They don't really all hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't your last
You
job.
haven't smarted off to Burnie one last time. It's not like that. No,
Can't we
but
just
you
go
know
along?
what? It is so true, and I'll tell you, the psychology comes back every single time that I'm slow. I go, I'm done.
Yeah, I rode this wave.
Yeah, wow, I can't believe it's over.
It's funny,
you
huh?
know. But I swear, and those feelings of self-doubt, those feelings of inadequacy, I don't know. Somehow they seem to always creep back in until I get busy again. You know, and then and I don't like that really. My self-esteem, your self-esteem should be high enough because of the job we do and knowing what we do and the standards that we have. And I feel that's true for almost everyone in our business. Anybody who's made it in their business has those high standards. You know, let's face it. So I wished I would not do that to myself, and I advise anybody not to do that. Don't self-sabotage.
Well, if you've been in the business as long as I have,
yeah.
and I hate that you don't want to sound cocky, but you just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Easier
So
said
true.
than done. I've only came to that realization probably in the last few years.
Yeah.
The first 20 years of this business, every time it got slow, you go, oh, that was it. It was fun while it lasted. You know?
Yeah, right.
It's only been 4 or 5 days since you last,
Right.
and you're already going through these steps of
Yeah.
mourning.
The stages of loss,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anger, resentment, and then acceptance. Yeah, all of that. No, it's really funny what we do to ourselves, but every single person
it's
I
a
know in the
reality.
business does that. You know,
Absolutely
and
reality.
we should not do it. Stan, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, call Burnie.
Oh, that's a $20 payout right there. That's $20 for you, Stan. You've got it. But I'll need an invoice on that. Thank you.
I know you always laugh, and people always say, "Oh, Stan, you like to suck up," but you know I don't. It is truly in my DNA.
I know it is.
and
I
I
know
think
that.
that's why we joke about it, because you go,
that's why I tease you about it, because you are sincerely
Yeah.
one of the nicest people I have ever met, and certainly the nicest person I've met that's in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well,
So
that's great.
true, very true story.
You all learn from each other. StanGarber.com is my website. It's
StanGarber.com.
Yeah.
That's your website.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go there, then you'll see my email address and
Okay.
phone number and stuff like
Great.
that. But
Great.
hey, here's I've said this to you a million times. I love this business, and it shows when I'm on set. The joy comes out. So I like to be a blessing. I know it's an older term, but it's just fun, and I love working for you and with you, so I just love it so much. And
Well, we love having you on too, Stan. I'll tell you that. No, I believe me, I never even worry about the shoot when you're out there, and also like working with you. I mean, that's another thing. You know, you do have your favorite people you like to work with, and you're certainly one of them. I've got a lot of them, but you're definitely right at the top. That's for sure.
when you opened the show, you said, "Oh, one of the," I know you had been in the business a little bit, but one of the first things I was a gaffer on that one particular shoot, and then I go, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's a good guy. He's really a go-getter." But then I hadn't seen you for a little while because this business you just go in different paths for a while.
People, yeah.
And I kept hearing how you're like buying stuff and buying HMIs and stuff like that. So you finally called me up and said, "Hey, Stan, I want to hire you." I go, "Great, I haven't seen you for a long time."
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, and I'm not trying to toot your own horn, but you had jumped from maybe there was baby steps, but I went from one level to a huge level. You're gaffing. It was this commercial for a hotel company, for crying out loud. You know, I was like, wow. Well, I was doing a little corporate video with him, and he was my grip, and now he's gaffing a commercial for a hotel company. I was like, that wasn't that many, maybe a year and a half, 2 or something like that. Not that much time. So anyway, I was impressed, and as you know, I love all of the classes I've taken, and Onset University. I'm a monthly member.
Yes, I appreciate that. For you to do that, that's like.
Oh, but it's true. I do learn. I mean, you absolutely learn. It's just good to review things and keep up.
I really appreciate that. And Stan, it's the same thing with me. I learn all the time. I actually go over my material and I go, I said it myself. That's right. Why am I not doing that? You know, but you do, and you learn from all kinds of people. I learn from you, set etiquette, dealing with clients. It's all good, brother. Thank you so much, Stan. Thank you, and thank you. Come back next week, and of course, if you need to get a hold of Stan, stangarber.com. He is an awesome gaffer and actually does audio too. So
if you make me, yep.
Well, that's 2 day rates too, by the way. Okay, that's 2 day rates. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Cut. That's a wrap.